Okay, so I'm Cody with Wall Street Breakdown, and this is the market recap for Wednesday, September 20th, 2017. Now, I want to tell you this is my first take at this, but this is the second. Because the camera fell down halfway through. I was 13 minutes into a long diatribe where I'm pretty sure I solved like world hunger and stuff. Like, I'm almost positive I was onto some real breaking stuff, but nope, the camera fell down, and that means auto delete. So here we are back with the market recap. Like I said, it's the 20th of September. The Dow was up 22,412. That's up 41.79, and that brings us to a 7-day all-time record high. That's 7 days in a row. The S&P up 225.08.24. That's only up 159, but it's still up. And the S&P's been up really considerably as well. We take a look down here. The TSX 15,389.60, up 96.63. If you're not invested in Canada right now, I'm speaking to a lot of Canadian citizens. I'm speaking to everybody, to be honest with you. First and foremost, before I get into any type of what could be construed as advice, don't take advice from me, what could be construed as advice, I'm going to tell you that you should consult with a licensed professional financial advisor who knows your risk tolerance, your portfolio. You guys have done the due diligence and you feel comfortable with the proper allocation in whatever you happen to be investing in. That's between you and your advisor. But I say this as your friend. If you're not in Canada right now, Canada is starting to come back, brother. That's right. Canada is having great gains on the TSX. Day over day, it seems to just be getting better. Even bad news in Canada, which we've got down here, isn't really bringing Canada down. So, especially if you're Canadian, with the capital gains, the extra little capital gains cut you get for being invested in Canadian companies, I don't think it's a bad thing just to go ahead and take a look at it. Now, definitely you'd want to take a look at the economy as a whole first. You don't want to just jump right in. We really want to make sure Canada's back on track, but being honest with you, I've been a lot more active looking into Canada as well. Canada has a long way to go up, where I think the United States, while I think their economy is doing fantastic, I'm wondering if they haven't they'll maybe find a plateau shortly, whereas I think Canada has a good probably, 2.5 year run in them. Usually when you get running for a while, like the ebb and flow of the market. That's the way it works. Canada seems to be turning a corner. So consult with your advisor about that. That's just a little morsel of information I think I should bring to the table for you. Big gainers in the S&P today. AMD up 4.7%. We found out earlier in the day that Tesla, who actually has an agreement with NVIDIA, has made a wafer agreement with AMD to use AMD's chips, semiconductors and stuff in the new Tesla autonomous AI-driven vehicle. So that has sent shares of AMD up pretty significantly, 4.7%. They were the big gainer on the day. There's no question about that. General Mills, down 5.8%, did not have a good earnings call. That's not a good thing when you're running a company. You actually want to have really good earnings calls. You don't want to just actually have the good call. You want to actually have good statistics to back up that call. It's not good to lie in that call either. General Mills didn't lie in the call, or if they did, they didn't lie in the right direction because their statistics were terrible. They were terrible. General Mills, 71 cents a share, missed the street by 5 cents. 3.77 billion, which is still a significant number, missed by 20 million, not too bad, and negative 3.6% year over year on that revenue number. But the big concern, I think, and the reason that they took the tumble that they did was margins fell 230 basis points to 35.1%. They were supposed to be in the 37% range. And the volume of sales were down across the board. North America, Latin America, and Asia, and you ain't gonna make no money if you're selling less of what you got, right? General Mills, better figure that out. L Brands, down 5.1%. Let us all, before we pile on L Brands like Cowan did earlier, let us all bask in what is the beauty of Victoria's Secret. God bless you, L Brands. You're doing God's work here. But L Brands, it's one of those retail companies, like I've said before, where they're on kind of a fringe. It's nice to be able to go in and try your intimates on. It's better than going to Amazon and purchasing something that you want to feel comfortable with, maybe in your most flirtatious of moments. But it's a lot of overhead. Still costs a lot of money to shop there. Cowan says they believe that L Brands is still going to have to charge around $20 to $30 a bra just to compete in the market space. They got a lot of overhead. So L Brands took a bit of a haircut on the market today. Adobe now 4.2% is definitely the shocker. The shocker. I don't know how to do that finger arrangement. I'll do that one. The shocker. And you know what the shocker is? So they had a really good earnings call yesterday. Why are they getting smashed? You know, I don't know if you've met this guy here. This guy here is the stock market. He doesn't take his medication. Like never. Not any day of the week can you actually set your watch to what he's going to do. He's erratic. This guy's a wild card for real. So while the stock market takes Adobe's great earnings call and turns it into a negative 4.2% day, I think a lot of people probably sit back and just wonder why. But if you've been around long enough and you've seen this act before, you know that the market is a crazy person. And he doesn't have any rhyme or reason as to why he does stuff. Things just happen in the marketplace sometimes. If you trade on the news or you're a day trader, or you move in positions real quickly, you end up getting caught with things like this. You know, that's just not something you want to be caught holding the bag on. That's why I'm definitely somebody who's a big proprietor of buy and hold, not trading. But that's your call. That's for you and your licensed professional financial advisor to figure out. You go ahead and do that with him. But heed my advice. Trading quickly is not it's a fool's game sometimes. You're chasing the money. You know what I mean? Anyways, GE announced today, John Flannery, CEO of GE, said, We've got to cut back even further. See, GE has been cutting back and cutting back and cutting back. The only problem is GE's in too many segments and too many sectors. GE just does far too much stuff, and the things that do make money do not prop up the things that don't. And John Flannery said today that they are going to ground the fleet of GE jets. That's right. Even the guys at the very top are going to have to start taking other first-class transportation, just not at the exact time they want to leave. But it's a cutback. It's a cutback. And I guess they're trying to show that even the guys that make the big money at GE, despite the fact that GE is not a well-reviewed company at the moment, even though those guys, they're taking a cutback. Yeah, we're proud of you. We're real proud of you, John Flannery. Maybe run a better company. Run a company that's been around as long as GE, maybe a little better. Maybe sell off a couple of those segments. If you can't work in every direction you've sent that company into, which is a million, it's a million directions. If you can't actually hone it in and get that company to right the ship, maybe get rid of some of those segments and streamline your business operations, or just down your fleet of jets. Who knows what GE's doing? They'll figure it out at some point. They've been around for too long. They've got too big of a brand name. They're not going to go away, but they're not doing anything substantial. Mortgage rates. The weekly mortgage rates came in, and they missed expectations by quite a bit. Mortgage apps were, I think, down 9.6%, 9.7%. It was pretty bad. Refinancing, about the same thing. It was really bad for mortgages. I think it's kind of an anomaly. I'm going to chalk it up to an anomaly for a 1 week thing. It's early September. You know, people are going back to school. There's a lot of people going back to work who have the summers off. Is mortgages something that you're concerned with right this week? This is the week that you're really pressing to go out and buy a new house. I think, you know, person over person, percentage-wise, that's where you're going to see that drop off. Just a lot of people just have a lot on their plate all of a sudden early September. And if you were going to get a mortgage, more times than not, you probably had a lot more time in the summer than you do right now when the kids are back at school and you've got, you know, practice for whatever your kids play, the violin or something. You know what kids do. They're playing Xbox. Alphabet Nest. That's not a nest made of alphabets. Not the SpaghettiOs-style alphabets or those like fridge magnet alphabets. This is Alphabet, the company, you know, Google. The Nest is going to be, or is, that kind of all-controlling feature inside your house that helps you turn on and turn off your dishwasher and raise the temperature in your fridge or your house, or turn on the air conditioning or lock the doors. Well, now the Nest is going to have Nest Guard. If you want to invest a little bit more money in your Nest, you're going to be able to get a full automated security system for your house as well. Alphabet is probably the product I would buy here in this instance. I know Apple has the Apple Home. Apple has a bit of a proprietary issue as far as I'm concerned. I'm wondering if my Samsung fridge and my Kenmore stove over there, I wonder if those things are all going to be as plug and play as the rest of Apple's products are. Because Apple's not really known for that kind of accessibility. They like to keep a lot of stuff right in the old Apple wheelhouse, whereas Alphabet, everything you use that's Google, it's real plug and play. It really likes to help you do your thing with its stuff. I can imagine that Google's going to make this nice and assimilated for everyone. So if you're going to go ahead and add on to your Nest and add the Guard as well to fully automate your alarm system in your home, I assume, drones will fly from the sky, accidentally shoot your mailman. I don't know. Let's hope that doesn't happen. That's going to definitely be a recall. But something's going to be good. Something is definitely going to be good when Alphabet's involved. So we go back over here and we take a look at Boeing. Now, Boeing's defense, space, and security, I believe it's the chief officer of that division said that with the Northrop Grumman orbital deal done, Boeing is actively looking for a merger or acquisition. They said that they are going out of their way to grow. They're not standing pat. And while Boeing's defense, space, and security segment is definitely not as big, and they're definitely not the lead people in that industry when you think about Northrop Grumman, you think about Lockheed Martin, you think about UTX, there's a bunch of companies in there that definitely fit the bill quicker than Boeing does. Boeing's not backing down because Boeing already knows they've got a real tight ship that they run in that company, and why not try to expand even further? They're not letting the Northrop Grumman orbital deal slow them down. They're definitely looking to make a move. So we'll see how that works out. In other Boeing news, as we take a look below there at the TSX, this company, which is not a very well-run company, unfortunately, and a Canadian company, Bombardier said yesterday that they were kind of sick of the hypocrisy from Boeing and the fact that Boeing was a bit of a bully in the marketplace. This is all in relation to the anti-dumping allegations because Bombardier has sold Delta Airlines a fleet of planes for a lot cheaper than they were supposed to, cheaper than actual cost, it seems like, just to kind of get those planes off the books. Boeing wasn't happy. Boeing alleged anti-dumping violations. Bombardier says, hey, Boeing, you haven't made the type of jet that Delta needed in years. Why do you care? Why do you care if we're in there getting this little mid-sized plane out there when you don't facilitate what they need anyways? So you know what Bombardier did today? Bombardier in Toronto decided to stage a little bit of a protest. That's right. Bombardier walked off the job. They went outside with their little picket sticks and they said, hey, not only are we not a very well-run company, they keep losing contracts, like with the New York Port Authority and so on, but we don't like what Boeing's doing either. Come on. What you did is you walked outside in Toronto and walked around for a whole day with your little sticks and told everybody that, hey, what's going on in that building behind us, the Bombardier building, it's not that important. We can even take the day off, shut the production line down. We can stand out here and just kick a bunch of rocks. Maybe that's why you're in the position that you're in, Bombardier. You ever think of that? Take a look in the mirror. Dow's up, S&P's up, TSX is up. We've got other videos up. That was the market recap. I'm Cody from Wall Street Breakdown. You go ahead, click the subscribe, click the notifications, click a like, leave a comment, and have a wonderful day.